Hello, and welcome to the 7th video in a series on the tabletop role-playing game Bunkers and Badasses. In this video, we'll be discussing the Assassin skill tree and give a sample build. I'll give a brief description of each skill and my personal opinion. When discussing the sample build, I'll go through the skill taken at each level and my reasoning for each choice. Our first skill is Headshot, which gives a small boost to crit damage. This is generally a good skill. Next is Fast Hands, which boosts the speed stat. In general, I recommend taking any skill which boosts base stats. Counter-Strike gives a small damage boost after taking damage. I do not recommend the skill, given that it only affects a few attacks. Iron Hand boosts health and melee damage. This is a good skill. Starting off the second tier, we have Killer, which boosts damage after killing enemies. This is a situational but decent feat. Precision boosts the accuracy stat and is generally recommended. Ambush is worded incorrectly on the PDF version. It should read 1 plus Mastery Mod to Damage Mod instead of 1 plus Mastery Mod. It is a situational feat, but a good pick. Fearless boosts the Mastery stat and is recommended. For the third tier, we start with 1 shot, 1 kill. It only affects the first attack of an encounter but can be used to start a kill chain. Bore deals additional damage to other enemies. It only affects a few attacks and deals little damage. I do not recommend this skill. Living up to its name, Deathmark allows all players to deal additional damage to marked targets. This is a very useful skill. Unforeseen causes Decoy to deal a burst of shock damage. This is very situational, and I do not recommend this skill. Kicking off the fourth tier is Kill Confirmed. It allows your damage to gradually ramp up during an encounter. This is an excellent skill for any build. Be sure to clarify whether a GM will accept it using all players' extra attacks or only yours. Innervate gives several bonuses while in Deception. This can be very useful as an escape plan. Resurgence gives health after melee kills. This is situationally useful for melee builds. Follow-through gives movement and melee damage on kill. This is also situationally useful for melee builds and kill chains. Fifth tier starts with Two Fang, which adds a crit after foregoing your attack to reload. This skill is a trap and should be avoided. At 1 with the gun boosts base stats and is generally good. Backstab boosts melee damage and is good for melee builds. Like the Wind boosts base stats and is generally good. The capstone is Death Blossom, which allows Decoy to deal damage to adjacent enemies. This is a bit underwhelming for a capstone. Taking all the skills into consideration, I'll now start walking through my sample build. In general, I invest 3 skill points in a tier and immediately move to the next tier and try to access the capstone as soon as possible. I always take the capstone regardless of its quality. For the first tier, I start with Fast Hands. The boost to movement, dodging, initiative, and checks is bigger than any other skill at this tier. I then take Headshot. The boost to crit damage is universally useful, given this class can be very accurate. Iron Hand is situational compared to the other skills, but is still quite useful. For second tier, I take Precision. Boosting accuracy is the most useful compared to the other skills. The modest damage boost from Ambush is situationally useful. The Mastery bonus from Fearless is generally useful, but is very minor. On third tier, I take Deathmark. The overall damage boost from Deathmark is less useful when being mobbed by a horde of enemies, but can be very useful against single targets. With the fourth tier, I start with Innervate. The boost to survivability and evasion is game-changing for the worst scenarios. The ability to ramp up damage through the entire encounter with Kill Confirmed is immensely helpful. Follow-through will allow for repositioning during kill chains. At Tier 5, the boost to base stats from At 1 with the gun is the most useful among the options. Like the Wind is less impactful but still very useful. Backstab is powerful but very situational to melee builds, so I take it last at this tier. The damage boost from Death Blossom is modest but still worth the skill point. After the capstone, I often round out the build I've already established before the capstone based on the playstyle. At 1 with the gun and precision provide the most benefits overall. The remaining points in Kill Confirmed lean into a playstyle that makes this class truly unique. Headshot is generally useful and applies to nearly all builds and situations. Ambush, Iron Hand, and Backstab are primarily useful for melee builds. That completes the build. I believe this gives a healthy mix of ranged and melee-focused playstyle. Let me know what you think of this build in the comments below. In the next video, I'll discuss the second of my class builds with the Berserker. Thanks for watching.